Now you're ready to put your box together. Hopefully you have all your parts and you've cut everything except possibly the bottom of your Wannigan. Remember, we suggested that you wait until the sides go together.
Putting glue down to get a nice tight seal.
What size screws are those?
1.25 inches. So we glued and screwed that side, and then we're going to glue and screw this side. Notice a little trick to holding that pine board somewhat vertical. Just take a little wood clamp, set it there. If you're working by yourself, it just holds it in place. So that Wannigan end is already there, so you can just slap the glue again on there. Just wood glue. Don't have to be too neat about that stuff. Want it to spooge out a little bit. Come on. Again, key to the countersinking holes, not too close at the top, not too close at the bottom, because the ends will split out. So you don't want it too high. Keep it 1.5 inches down from the top, 1.5 inches up from the bottom, and you'll be all set. So both ends and one side are glued and screwed, so I like to flip it over on the side and just do both. Notice I'm putting actually on the pine this time and not on the plywood, just because of habit. Last time we put it on the plywood, and this time we're putting it on the pine ends.
Now you have your 2 plywood walls and your 2 pine ends glued and screwed together. Make sure that all your screws have gone down into their countersink so that they're not going to catch your knee or your elbow when you're moving it. Now is the time to measure the inside length of your Wannigan and cut your floor out of your pine board if you haven't already done so. Once you have that pine floor cut to the right size, it needs to fit very tight. You must have to pound it in. Got to get plenty of glue on all 4 edges of that bottom. Tight fit's good, right? Keep the water out. You want to be sure that the outside of your floor is flush with the bottoms of all four walls so that you have a nice smooth bottom edge on your box.
Screw the bottom from the sides and the ends.
Once you are certain that everything is flush, it's back to the drill. You have to screw all four sides into the bottom of your Wannigan. Remember, it's these screws that are going to hold your groceries or items in the box when the box gets lifted up.
So I just flipped the Wannigan over, and you're just going to finish screwing all the way around the edge. I haven't even drilled here, so I'll drill and countersink. Countersinking bit. So I'm countersinking the ends to the bottom. So there's a pilot hole for the screw. Put 4 along the bottom.
Screwed the sides and end together, and we have screwed the bottom on. So you have a box already.
So the feet, they cover everything. The sides, the bottom, and the end. And then your tump line goes right on the inside of that when you tump it. This is like this is what keeps everything safe. And then we'll round these over afterwards with a wood rasp. So you're going to mark where you're going to counter, where you're going to put your screws, and you're going to countersink this thing and make sure the bottom is good and solid. Mine are made of cedar. I'll put 8 screws on from the bottom and 4 from the inside down. And then we're going to glue it as well.
Why from the bottom and from the inside?
From the bottom and from the inside, just make sure it's really secure. You don't want your feet coming off.
Always time for more glue. Got to glue the feet. Put glue on the feet before you attach them to the bottom and before you screw them in. Tricky how you got the glue on both pieces. This is probably a safe thing to try at home. Countersinking. Screwing the feet on. Same size screws.
Yep.
So now that the feet are on, the next thing to do is manage the lid.
So the lid is a pretty important part. So what I do is I clamp the edge of the lids on each end to make sure that it's snug. Because you don't, if you miss put on the lid, it's a hassle for the entire lifetime of the Wannigan. So what I do is I clamp it and I check it out, and if something needs to be trimmed up, I trim it up. And again, we countersink the top. Holes are countersunk. We glue it and we screw it. And here we use a little longer screws, just a little longer. I'll go 1.5 inches on here, just because you have the wood to do it. 1.25 inches is also fine. Okay, and you want it to be snug, but it doesn't want to be crazy. You want to be able to lift it up like that. Okay, so once you clamp it, you've cut it, everything's good, boom, you glue it and you screw it, which is what we're going to do now.
Glue it and clamp it and screw it?
I glue it and just hold it in place, just snuggy in place.
Once the glue's on and the clamp is on, we put the screws into the countersunk holes and secure the handle onto the lid.
So the handles, I undercut them a little bit. You don't have to, just easier to grab. You want them down a little bit. The lid doesn't have to sit exactly on there. Okay, the lid doesn't need to sit exactly on the handle. You can be a 1/16 of an inch below or whatever. Okay, countersink on the inside, and then we'll screw it from the outside, and we'll countersink from the inside, and we'll screw it from the inside also.
Of course, don't forget to glue before you screw. Once again, you need to glue the handle onto the box and then screw it into your countersunk holes from both sides.
So what you want to do is round those feet over a little bit on the edge on here. Then you can use a small block plane, spoke shave, draw knife, rasp, or a hand grinder, whichever one you like. Sometimes most of the time I use a hand grinder. Fast. Rip it off. Once you have the box completed, you want to sand down every edge. Every edge. You want to sand that down. So when you pick up the Wannigan box to help put it on top of somebody's head, you don't have a flat edge digging into your arms. If you grab it like so, you don't want to have something flat digging into your arms or something sharp. So you sand everything down. Just with block plane, electric sander, just block plane and sandpaper is fine. So a little block of wood with some sandpaper. Sand it all down, make it nice.
So there you have it. We have our bottoms rasped off or shaved off. We've sanded the edges so that they're not too sharp. And we have a nice, put her up on it. We have a nice Wannigan. You can use it as your table, chair, store your valuables, put your food in it, tump it up, use it next to your bed as a table, or you can put your dog on it. And she could get a haircut or a pet or a scratch up there or treats. It's a little dog table.